Alrighty, 52 get to know me prompts. Let's do this. Where did your name come from? I was named from King David in the Bible. Yep. Uh, where were you born? Saskatoon, Saskatchewan. What would you like people to know about your mom? She was awesome. Yeah, really nice person. She was mentally ill, but yeah, she was a really nice person. Um, what would you like people to know about your dad? Again, he was a really nice person. He was a very charitable human being. I didn't know this for a really long time. When I was a kid, I had no idea this was happening, but he gave 10% of his pay to charity every bloody month. Do you have siblings? Talk about them. I used to have a brother, but he died of a drug overdose. He was a drug addict. He was locked up for what was it, 6 months, in an insane asylum, if that's the right term for them, mental hospital, whatever. And when he got out, he went back to his regular dose and died of a drug overdose because he had lost his resistance to the heroin. Um, Where did you grow up? What did you remember about this place? So I grew up right here in Moose Jaw, Saskatchewan, Canada. I came here when I was 11 months old. That's when my parents adopted me and brought me here. They changed my name from Wayne Valley to David Nicholson, and I became the person that I am today. Anyways. What do I remember of the place? It used to be a really good place. You didn't have to lock your doors and shit like that, right? It used to be a really friendly city as well. Now people are not that friendly anymore. And yeah, anyways. Think about your house growing up. What was it like? The thing I remember most is you had to go into the porch, the back porch, to get into the basement because the door to the basement was outside and you had to go in through the porch. Yeah, and there was a root cellar in there. We never used it for literally anything, but there was this root cellar down there. I remember my dad had this really big workbench in the basement, but he never did anything. He never fixed nothing. My uncle ended up fixing everything. So I have no idea why he had this big workbench, but yeah, anyways. What was your childhood bedroom like? It was a hellish nightmare of a place. See, it was a big room, but it was split in half with a divider. And me and my brother would sleep in that same room. But there was no windows at all in the section that we had. And then my grandma was sleeping in the section on the other side. Yeah. She had the window. We didn't have a window. And there was a balcony, but we weren't allowed to go out on it because it wasn't safe. What was your favorite activity as a child? Riding my bike. I rode my bike all over the bloody place. I literally rode for miles on my bike every day. Well, not in the winter, of course, because snow. But what was your favorite place as a child? My favorite place as a child? I'm going to have to say Elgin Park here at Moose Jaw was my favorite place as a child. Who were your friends as a child? None of your bloody business. There was Mary, there was Peter, there was Garth. Interestingly enough, my brother's name was Garth. And who was that other guy? Oh God, it's been so bloody long. No, I don't remember the other guy's name. Sorry, it's gone from my memory. I haven't actually seen him in a really long time. Worst thing is I can literally see his face in my head, right? But anyways, did you travel as a child? Where did your favorite place to visit? Yeah, we traveled every summer. Every summer vacation we traveled. Usually to either Yorkton, Saskatchewan, or Fernie, British Columbia. But my favorite place we ever traveled was Banff National Park when I was a kid, and that was awesome. I went there twice when I was an adult, and it was epic. Yeah. Anywho. What did a typical day look like as a child? Me playing, basically. Playing, going to school, things like that, you know. That's basically it. Played in the yard most of the time. Anyways. What did a typical day look like as a teen? Me going to high school. Me being depressed, me listening to punk rock and having a mohawk. Can you imagine? There is no picture of me. I wish to God I had a picture, but I really hated people taking my picture at the time, and I really wish there was a picture of me with a mohawk. Anyways, what was high school like for you? It was pretty good. Like I said, I was depressed as fuck, but I had good friends. I really had no hassle at all in high school. I was picked on in grade school, in elementary school, but in high school, one guy fucked with me right the first day. Right, I knocked his ass literally out, just and knocked him out. Right, and nobody fucked with me after that. Nobody at all. It was a great experience. Yeah, I really enjoyed high school. I enjoyed my teachers, even the crazy nun that threw chalk brushes at people. I really liked them. What world events were significant to you as a child? I have no idea. I literally can't remember. It was just too long ago, and I did not pay any attention to that at all. Not at all. So yeah. Talk about your grandparents. I only knew one of them. The rest were dead before I was born. Grandma Nicholson was the only one I ever met, and she was the luckiest human being on the planet, right? She would go to bingo every Wednesday, and she would win something every time, right? She would always come back with more value than she spent at bingo. She would be ahead every time, literally every time. It was amazing. I remember several times she won the grand prize, which was a food hamper. It was enough food for 4 people for an entire month, and yeah, it was amazing. She just kept winning things, right? Coffee good. Talk about your favorite aunt. Oh yeah, Aunt Betty. I remember being a kid and going, yeah, she's a lesbian. It's just obvious, right? And then when her husband died, she came out to her to her children, and they're like, "What?" And I'm like, "Jesus, how did you not notice?" But yeah, she rode a Harley motorcycle until into her 70s, right? And she was just a badass. She was awesome. Yeah. Talk about your favorite uncle. Okay, my favorite uncle was a complete redneck, right? He was from Fernie, British Columbia, but yeah, he was a complete hillbilly. He really was. He was a total hillbilly. He talked like a hillbilly. He acted like a hillbilly. Yeah. Oh, this is a fun tag. Talk about your favorite cousin. Oh, wow. Yeah. There's a story that I can't tell you. But yeah, I think my favorite cousin was actually a bit younger than me. And she was a really nice person, and she was nice to talk to. And whatnot. I haven't heard from her in decades, right? But anyways, there was this one time when I was waiting in the car for my mom. I had taken her to the store. She needed to pick up a few things. I didn't go in because it was just a couple of things she needed, right? Anyways, I'm seeing this woman jogging, and I'm like, "Ooh, that looks nice." And then I realize she waves at me, and I'm like, "Oh shit, that's my cousin." Yeah, she was my favorite cousin. She was a nice person. Talk about your early school memories. God, the only thing I really remember from my early school memories is a place that I would sit outside in the schoolyard. There was this window that had this glass blocks, right, and a ventilator fan in there, and I would sit there with my friends, and we would, hang out. That's the only thing I remember, really. Yeah. What was your favorite subject in school? Computer science. Who was your favorite teacher as a child? Mrs. Carrick. She was also the librarian, but she taught a class for people with learning disabilities, and that was me because I was dyslexic as hell. Yeah, that being said, I still managed to read literally 100 books in one school year, 1 year. But anyways, did you move as a child? Talk about it. Well, we moved houses, but we didn't move cities or anything like that. I was on 2nd Avenue, then we moved to 6th Avenue, and that was about it. So yeah, it was nothing special. It was a nicer house. I'll give it that. Who taught you to drive? My dad. My dad taught me to drive, basically. Yeah. What was your favorite food as a child? I have no idea. I think it was cabbage rolls. I think, but I'm not certain. It's been really a long time. So, talk about your most memorable birthday. Oh God, I don't know. Okay, I'm 8 years old, and it was the literal only birthday party that I ever had. I never had a birthday party before that or after. And yeah, so I guess that was my friends were over, and we had a good time. And yeah, how did you typically celebrate your birthday? uh, with my parents and my brother, and that was it. Yeah, yeah. Talk about your favorite holiday memory. Christmas when I was 10 years old was a perfect day. A perfect day. Everything was absolutely magical to me, and I had a really super good time. I can't really remember why this stuck in my head so much, but I just remember it being a really good day, and I really felt loved and wanted and all that, you know. What was the hardest part about growing up? You know, there wasn't many negative things. I went to an elementary school that had a lot of bullies. We'll just put it that way. What was the best part about growing up? My parents. My parents were awesome. They were loving, kind people. Yeah. When did you first leave home? Talk about the experience. God. I think it was 20. 20. Excusez-moi, s'il vous plaît. I think I was 20, and I moved out to my first apartment, and it was okay, I guess. It was nothing special. Later on, when I was in my 30s, I moved back in with my parents to save money, basically, because I was poor as fuck, right? Yeah. Uh huh. Anyways, what did your parents do for work? My mother was first that I remember. I don't remember her being a few jobs that she used to have. She was a lab tech. She did blood tests and stuff like that in the lab in the hospital, and then she was an EKG technician, right? Most of the time, though, I remember her not having a job. She was just hanging out at home. My dad was a policeman my entire life until he retired. And he died very soon after he retired. It was really sad. What was your first job? Groundskeeper in a graveyard. What? First real job, anyways. I delivered flyers and all that, but I don't count that as a real job. Anyways, what is your favorite family story? The time we went to Banff, I guess, because it was really fun. It was really a different experience for me, and yeah. Anyways. Write about your fun story that has been passed down through the generations. I don't have one. My parents never talked about their family. Never. There are no family stories for me to tell you. So yeah. What were you most proud of as a child? Yeah, you know, I have literally no idea because, I'm 57 years old. Most of my childhood memories are gone. So, literally, I don't remember most of it. So, mm. What did you want to be/do when you grew up? Did you become it? No, I did not become any of the things I wanted to when I grew up. I wanted to be a fireman. I wanted to be a cop. There was a whole bunch of things that I wanted to be when I was a kid, but I never became any of them. So, who inspired you as your mentor as you matured? My dad. He was just an epic person. He really was. He was the perfect human being, if you ask me. What job has been your favorite? Cook. I was a cook for 7 years, and I really enjoyed that. I did. There was a restaurant and a banquet hall, so it was kind of a busy job. But yeah, it was really fun. What was the best part of your 20s? Moving out, being independent. Yeah. What was the best part of your 30s? Being a cook. What was the best part of your 40s? Surviving a heart attack, I guess. I don't remember having a heart attack. I don't. They just told me one day that I had one. I don't know what was the best part of my 40s. By the time I was in my 40s, I was on disability and I had no life whatsoever. So, you know. I guess my 40th birthday was pretty epic because we went on a pub crawl in Regina, Saskatchewan. And I got absolutely annihilated. So that's probably my best part of my 40s. What was the best part of your 50s? I've had no good part in my 50s whatsoever. I haven't. It's been downhill the entire time. I seriously, every year it just gets worse. Are you in a relationship? Nope. I'm not doing that shit again. How did you meet your significant other? I remember I had 3 significant others in my life, and I met them all at a bar, basically. But yeah, they were all abusive women, controlling, manipulative, and physically abusive. So I'm not doing that again. After the 3rd one in a row, I'm like, oh, fuck this, you know. So yeah. Did you have any boy/girlfriends as a teen? Not as a teen. Talk about one. Not as a teen. I didn't. There was kind of somebody I was sweet on when I was in elementary school, but yeah. Anyways, not as a teen though. Did you have kids? No. Thank God. This world sucks so freaking bad. I am super glad I didn't have kids. Talk about them. Yeah. There was this cat that I used to have that was epic. That's all I have to say about kids, because that cat was a kid to me. Anyways, what are you most proud of as an adult? The person that I've become, basically. I'm most proud of that because I think I'm a really decent human being, if you ask me. And if you ask any of my friends, they'll say the same thing, probably, because my friends are also really good people. So, where is the most fascinating place you have visited? New Orleans. When I was young, I drove this funky old beat-up car all the way to New Orleans. I mean, every time we stopped for gas, we had to add oil as well, right? It was just unbelievable that we made it. It could have been so disastrous because that car was really in bad shape, right? But yeah, we went to New Orleans, and which is 3,800 miles from here, by the way. That's how far I drove. And we lived in the car for 2 weeks. Me and my friend Mike, we lived in the car for 2 weeks, and we saw B.B. King live in a bar because he just showed up and started playing. And the bartender was like, I'm like, dude, that's fucking B.B. King, and he's like, yeah, he just shows up and starts playing, I'm like, wow. Anyways, what is one thing about the past year that she'll never forget. It has completely sucked the entire time. There is nothing good about this year. Nothing that I can remember. I'm sure there was good spots, but it has been horrific. Horrific. This has been the worst year of my entire life, bar none. So, yeah. Bloody hell. What item will you cross off your bucket list next? I don't have a bucket list. I'm old. I'm broken. I'm physically incapable of traveling because I literally get diarrhea at the drop of the hat, and it's like I need to go now. So yeah, I can't travel anymore. So there is no bucket list. It's gone. What advice would you give your younger self? Do not become a fundamentalist Christian. This will fuck you up. And it did. Yep. Anyways, have a good